Hi there, just Andrew Marshall from AMRP. Just wanted to go live briefly to chat about this week's budget announcement. I know for many investors there's been a period of slight inactivity, a sense of let's wait and see what the budget brings. And if I'm honest, I did suspect that it would be a lot of noise about very little, and that's generally my sort of my feeling of it. I guess having been in property for 20 years, legislation has come and gone, taxes have changed, and we've always continued to flex and change. And it reinforces my long-held belief, which is the right investments, but at the right price, in the right place, will always work in the long term. And I don't think anything that was really said or changed in the budget changes that belief. I think that methodology remains true, and that is the logic I would wish to sort of share and hope that you guys would follow. So I guess we should talk about stamp duty. The increase in stamp duty for investment properties is naturally a bit of a kick for investors. It's an additional cost at the point of purchase. But I think if I'm honest, if we're buying well, that investment should still work over a 15 to 20 year period. So that additional cost really in the lifetime of it shouldn't entirely make a difference to whether that investment is right or wrong. If we're buying the right things, we should be able to accommodate. I know we'd rather not, but we're stuck with it now. But I think what I would say is I don't think this should scare investors off entirely. It just means due diligence and modelling and research before purchase becomes ever more important. And by all means, speak to myself and my team about what to buy and where, because I think that becomes the critical thing. Let's be honest, a good investment property will still be viable at 5% stamp duty over its lifespan if we're buying the right things. So I think that is the lesson for me. It's about buy the right things well, and frankly, they'll still be viable. Although I have to say, we'd rather not be paying the extra stamp duty, but we are stuck with this. Can't change that, but we can just invest well in the right places, and that would be my shout out. I think in that regard. Capital gains tax, of course, is the other big thing that I wanted to mention. I know there was a fear that would raise in level for investment properties, but a little bit of good news that has remained the same. So I think if a sale is something that's on your agenda, capital gains tax, I guess, can be parked because that position is unchanged. Sadly, it's still there. It's still potentially payable, but hasn't increased. So I guess your sales decision needs to be made on other factors. And at this moment in time, I know a lot of landlords are choosing that it is the right time to sell. And if that's the case, feel free to reach out. We have a range of options to secure sales for investors. So feel free to give us a shout if a sale is something you're exploring. But good at least that we have stability on capital gains tax and that hasn't changed. So that really remains equal. Is a little bit of good news. Obviously, there were a number of other changes in the budget, but I really wanted to focus on those because I think as investors, and particularly knowing the client type that we have in the Northeast, I think they're the real two that were particularly important. I will be doing shortly another video on something that was announced in the budget that was very quietly announced in the background, which was the freezing of LHA rates. So keep an eye out for that. That will come on a later video. I hope that's of interest. As always, if we can help, feel free to reach out to myself or a member of the team. But I hope that's helpful. And we'll speak to you soon. Cheers now.